Shagwan, first foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kadash. Double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shagwan, the hopeful elect of Hebrew Israelites. This is Brother Araki coming back with a lesson. And, today in Finland, they spoke out in the news concerning the situation in Norway, because in Norway, you got the so-called royal family, which they are Edomites. They are not royals. They are pretending to be royals, because the true royal people are the Israelites. Okay, I'm gonna show that in the scriptures in a second, but you have a problem in the so-called royal family of Norway, because the prince married a woman that is basically a a thought, and she was also involved with Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and that woman also had a son with her previous man, and that son, which they call him the bonus prince, okay, who is not the legitimate, royal seed, so-called, because it came with another man and not with the legitimate prince of Norway. And then that son, who now is about 30 years old, 28, whatnot, has committed also some fuckeries, man. Okay, as it says here, Norway's crown princess under fire for Epstein emails amid son's rape trial. So his son is charged with 38 different, criminal cases, including, rape charges as well. So see the world just crumbling down, man. You see, this place is fucking done, man. And I'm not even gonna go into that further, but to what I'm about to say next, that the Norway so-called royal family, publicly is all the way fucked up, because the one so-called royal princess, which is the sister of the current prince, okay, who she's in her 50s, but she has married a so-called African American man who goes both ways, man, and is so-called some shaman, involved with some alternative healing, or I don't know what the fuck going on. So that it's just, it's showing this, the people even cannot take it seriously. People are saying it's a fucking parody. Okay, now we understand why the scriptures say they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Then put royal. I want to see what's gonna come up. I want the scripture in Peter, at least, where it speaks about royal priesthood. Why is it not gonna? Priesthood. Oh, it's 32. Why is it not show? Oh, Slovakia. Yeah, I'm sure it was in. Yeah, because I thought the Apocrypha is in the middle, but the Apocrypha was last. Slovakia for that. Okay, 1 Peter 2:5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahushua HaMashiach. This only concerning the Israelites. 1 Peter 2:9, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So the real royal nation is the Israelites, you know. We the kings, you see. And a woman of our nation are daughters of kings, so princesses, you know. It says an holy nation. It's talking about the Israelites. Okay, so let's watch. I have some video clips. Let me read that first. It says Marius Borg Hoiby, son of Norway's crown princess, to trial for rape at Oslo District Court. The trial follows the latest release of Jeffrey Epstein files, which include scores of emails between Epstein and Crown Princess Mette-Marit. CNN's Melissa Bell reports, and I was even seeing some videos of or picture in the Finnish media an article that you had this Crown Princess Mette-Marit, you know, in a family vacation with her husband, who is the Prince of Norway, Haakon, and their children. And in the midst of that family vacation in the Caribbean islands, she went down to see Jeffrey Epstein. So you know she's, you know, you can imagine the rest, man. And there was a picture of her with another woman in the Jeffrey Epstein residence, I believe, or in the company of. Jeffrey Epstein was not in the picture, but I believe it was in his, you know, residence or in some of his properties, or he was there present somehow in the same building or some shit like that.
Plenty of attention on the trial of Marius Borg Høby, the son of Norway's crown princess who pleaded not guilty in Oslo to...
So that was the dude who is the... So let me get the woman also.
The son of attention on the trial of Marius Borg Høby, the son of Norway's crown princess who pleaded...
Okay, well, this is the son of the crown princess, okay? This dude is a wannabe gangster, you know, you're gonna see some pictures, you know, he's all tatted up. He's posing with a gun. No.
Not guilty in Oslo to 4 charges of rape. His attorney denying all charges of sexual abuse as he faces more than 10 years in prison if convicted. The trial opens against a backdrop of almost daily revelations surrounding his mother.
Yeah, this is the mother, Crown Princess Mette-Marit, who was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So, you see, their own tongue is falling upon them. Says, you know, this is beautiful, man. You know, oh, let's keep 100, man. We, the hopeful elect of Hebrew Israelites, we knew this shit was going on from the moment we came into this truth. Okay, so for years, we knew that the so-called elites and royal families and stuff like that, you know, the high-end politicians, they involved in some heavy level fuckery, man, in some rituals, you know. They had the Bohemian Grove. Was it Nixon who said it was the most faggoty thing he saw in all his life? So, you know, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, you know. We know the fuck, you know, not the details, and you know, you do not wanna know the details, but you know well enough of what they're doing to know that, you know, they workers of Satan, you know, pawns of Satan. But now what is funny Instead, it's coming out to the public. Cat Williams, that was huge. What he was talking about with them Diddy parties. You know, this is what you gotta do. You gotta sell your soul in those places. In Hollywood, in the musical industry. In order to make it, you gotta sell your soul. So it's been coming out. Cat Williams. For many people, it was the first time hearing about the corruption and the fuckery. These fucking abominations, these abominable acts of these so-called celebrities and elites. But we've been knowing since we came into this truth. Verse 8, Psalm 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Okay, so it's just coming out, man. Edomites reporting on other Edomites on all the fuckery they are doing, man. This world system is losing all of its credibility, man. The signs of this end, okay, which is beautiful. We cannot wait for the kingdom. 2 Peter 3 and 13.
His mother, Crown Princess Marit, who appears in emails showing extensive contacts with the late US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Marit has expressed regret and embarrassment, though she says that Epstein is, quote, solely responsible for his actions. Plenty of attention on the trial of Marius Ford.
Okay, then I have another one, which you see this dude presented bonus prince. Which there is reports of him, doing coke, ecstasy, marijuana, which what the Bible says about rape, about the appears he has been doing with women that are sleeping, it's just fucking weird stuff, man. And also big getting being how can I say, physically harming them, slapping them in the face or punching, I don't know, these are the charges, man. But you're gonna see some pictures, this the one, all tatted up, posing with a coffee cup and a pistol, looking stupid as fuck, man. But you see, and there's a report also that he was hosting some parties in the royal properties. They invited some motorbike gangs, Hell's Angels, him and his mother, the so-called crown princess. All these people, man, all the things coming out, man. This is time of information, man. This is everything being exposed, man.
Övergrepp och misstänkta våldtäkter. Nu inleds rättegången mot honom.
This is the dude.
Den norske bonusprinsen Marius, och han åtalas på 38 punkter. Jag har träffat...
This is the so-called prince, crown prince Hakon. Okay, in front.
Hans advokat och en rad experter runt om i Norge. Det här är sanningen om bonusprinsen.
Detta är den största skandalen i det norska kungahuset.
I think this is Swedish or Norwegian, but they say, I can understand just a bit of Swedish. They say this is the biggest scandal in the Norwegian royal family. And then they say something that I don't understand.
Huset i det norska kungahuset är den största skandalen.
Yeah, the biggest scandal
I det norska kungahuset.
In the Norwegian royal family. sedan andra världskriget. I believe it says from the Second World War. So it's a big scandal, man, going on.
Siden andre verdenskrig.
And they have a documentary on it. Bonus. Says something bonus prince. Okay. I got third video. I'm play a little bit.
Kunnostetut iPhonet uudella akulla. Swappialta. With a rape trial.
Okay, let me read a little bit of the description. It says a rape trial is rocking the royal family in Norway and raising questions over the future of the monarchy in the Scandinavian country. The accused is 29-year-old Marius born Hoiby. He's the son of Norway's crown princess, but outside the line of succession, as he was born before his mother married into the royal family, from another man. Today in Oslo, he pleaded not guilty to the most serious of 38 counts against him, including 4 counts of rape. The charges also include abuse, acts of violence, transporting marijuana, and making death threats. Hoiby was arrested again on Sunday on a suspicion of assault, making threats with a knife, and violating a restraining order. The trial gets underway just days after revelations. The revealings that Hoiby's mother, Crown Princess Mette-Marit, had extensive contact with the late U.S. Sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of child sex crimes in 2008. The latest release of Epstein files contains hundreds of references to the Crown Princess, including personal emails between the two, appearing to show a close personal friendship. Over the weekend, Crown Princess Mette-Marit issued an apology saying she showed poor judgment. Okay. And, Trump also, all up in them files, man. Maybe there's a connection between her son being a sociopathic rapist and her being friends with a sociopathic rapist. Her son is accused of rape, and she flirted with a rapist and possibly more. Both mom and son are wild. And again, if you study Bible, Deuteronomy, you know what the scriptures say about rape, but concerning Epstein, there's all kinds of other fuckeries involved. The rituals and all the things that they get into, and with this dude, the son of the crown princess, you just know he's thruuu. Okay. That's you have to look at the laws of the current world system. You cannot just the scriptures. What it says about the people that so-called into same-sex marriage. The scripture says to put them away, man. To unalive them. But of course, you cannot just do that in today's world system. You have to discern the times diligently. Just got the prince really married poorly. She was married to a criminal. Her son is a criminal. I believe her father also was a criminal. And she kept close relations with a convicted criminal. She made evidence of her son's crimes disappear. She's a criminal and needs jail.
Rocking the royal family in Norway and raising questions over the future of the monarchy in the Scandinavian country. The accused is 29-year-old Marius Borg Høiby. He's the son of Norway's crown princess, but he's outside the line of succession as he was born before his mother married into the royal family. But today in Oslo, he pleaded not guilty to the most serious of 38 counts against him, including 4 counts of rape. The charges also include abuse, acts of violence, transporting marijuana, and making death threats. Høiby was arrested again on Sunday on suspicion of assault, making threats with a knife and violating a restraining order. Well, the trial gets underway just days after revelations that Høiby's mother, Crown Princess Mette-Marit, had extensive contact with the late U.S. sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of child sex crimes back in 2008. The latest release of the Epstein files contains hundreds of references to the Crown Princess, including personal emails between the two, appearing to show a close personal friendship. Now, over the weekend, Crown Princess Mette-Marit issued an apology, saying that she showed poor judgment. But the double scandal has rattled many Norwegians and affected their trust in the monarchy.
If anything, it just proved to me that they're completely incompetent, to be honest. PR-wise, and at the end of the day, why was the contact even there? I mean, she even wrote that she Googled him, and they said a couple of years ago that she didn't know anything about his activities. But from the mails, we can see that's just a plain lie. So I think they were just lying to the public.
I just think it's extremely sad. It's sad that we have people at the very top who think it's acceptable to associate with a convicted paedophile. I find that quite tragic.
What it'll mean for the royal family? I don't quite know yet. First, we have to know what has happened. But it is, of course, very unfortunate for the Norwegian monarchy what has happened now. So the question is whether it is a form of governance we should retain at all.
Yes, I think she can be queen. I don't think there will be a republic anytime soon in Norway. All this talk is just nonsense. It's not going to happen.
And for more, I'm joined now by Trine Eilertsen. She's editor-in-chief of the Aftenposten, one of Norway's leading daily newspapers. She's also a commentator who has closely tracked Norway's royal family and the pressures facing the monarchy at home and abroad. Trine, it's good to have you with us. The Norwegian royal household now has acknowledged that the crown princess had contact with Jeffrey Epstein over several years. Can you tell us what exactly has been confirmed and what is still unclear at this point?
Yeah, we knew that the Crown Princess Mette-Marit had a relation with Jeffrey Epstein, but when she commented that and the Crown commented that in 2019, they said that it was very, very small contact. It didn't last very long, and that there were always many people present when they were meeting or talking, so they really minimalized it. But what we see now from these emails is that their contact lasted for 3 years. They met frequently, even in Oslo. She stayed in his house in Palm Beach, and they also had quite a frequent email correspondence, which in a form and with a tone that has really made the Norwegians react.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up on that because I know some of the reporting now suggests that the relationship was rather warm between her and Epstein. So for Norwegians watching all of this, I mean, does this shift the story from maybe a mistake to something that is harder to explain away?
I'm guessing her answer then is gonna be it for the lesson.
Maybe a mistake to something that is harder to explain away?
Yes, I think this was quite a shock to the Norwegians, because we have several, top diplomats and other persons who have been in contact with Mr. Epstein, but that the Crown Princess has had this kind of contact with him and actually didn't tell the truth the last time she was asked about this. That has really struck the confidence and the way that the Norwegians look at her role and also at the monarchy.
What do you think that this contact is doing more damage to? Is it damage to her image as a member of the royal family, or is it damage to her as an individual, or is there no difference in the eyes of Norwegians?
Well, that's kind of the magic and the problem with the royal family. The persons are the firm, the persons are the institution. So when you lose confidence in one of the persons of that institution, it kind of harms the whole institution. So it's really a problem for the entire monarchy when such a central member, she is to become Queen of Norway one day, and when she gets this story tied to her name right now, it's an acute crisis for the royal family and the castle.
And this is happening, of course, at the same time as the trial of Marius Borg Høiby, who was her son from a previous relationship. I mean, he is part of the royal family, even though he's not officially a royal. So how has the royal family, how have they been handling that?
Well, that's one of the things that I think all the journalists are really trying to get some answers to, because we wonder how much have they known along the way? Have they tried to stop him from doing what he's been doing? What contact has there been between the royal family and the police or the investigators? These are all questions that I think many needs answers to. But right now, unofficially, they don't comment. They say that this is being handled by the court. We do not want to influence the police or the court. And actually, half the family left the country today. And the Crown Princess probably left the country today. So they will not be present during the trial at all.
Yeah, they left the country, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all coming out. Okay, this time, man, this is the time of revelation, man. Really living the time of revelation, which means revealing, everything coming to light, man. It's the time of the end for this current world system. Ja paakal hölöl ja haupaassa ja shai passa mahakdash. The planet, the eldest pastors of great millstone, shall go to the hopeful elect, shall go on.